Hello everyone, welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Network. It's Murph. It is Luca Tedesco, and we are live from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway for round 4 of the IndyCar Thrustmaster Pro Qualifiers. And what a better place to be than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You got downtown Indianapolis in the background. You've got the famous pagoda in front of you. Luca, this feels like a place that IndyCar qualifiers should be, does it not?
It is the greatest race course in the world for a reason. This is the mecca of North American motorsports, if not global motorsports, and the name of the track is on the series. I don't think that you could really go anywhere else than to have the INDY NXT Thrustmaster Qualifier Series right here at the greatest course on the planet, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
It is the greatest race course in the world, and we are going to show it to you on board from the automobile of Simon Sykes. 4 minutes left in qualifying. The number 11 of Simon Sykes works his way through turns 2 and 3, off the chicane and onto the Holman straight. Got to be careful you don't get a penalty there for cutting the course, Luca.
Yeah, that was really close. I am very interested to see if the virtual race control will allow that. I thought that might just barely be a corner cut, but oh boy. And also he goes onto the grass coming out of turn number 8.
You got to be very, very careful coming around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in these cars. There are so many places that you can get a corner cut, and most of them are right through the infield, whether it's the chicane, whether it's getting back onto the oval, that quick right-hander there. Guys like to cut that. You can also get a penalty by going off into the grass as you exit back onto the front straightaway. The first lap for Simon Sykes.
Does it count? Does it count?
I
think it does.
It does on the board. 1:14.511, all the way down to 60 miles an hour as he makes the right-hander into turn 1. Go ahead and grab second gear. Now third through turn 3. Make the right-hander at turn 4. He does not shift down into second gear, interestingly enough, and already onto the Holman straight. It gives you an idea of how fast this course goes by, Luca.
A minute and 15 seconds to go, 2.439 miles, 14 corners. This thing is an absolute temple of speed, just like the oval that surrounds it. The only thing that I wish they did was they still had the beautiful turn coming in through oval turn number 1. They just let him really rip through that oval section, but no more, unfortunately. Thanks, Michelin.
You know, I was at that race. I went to every single United States Grand Prix that was held here, both cars and bikes. And that was always just such a spectacular sight to see the cars going the wrong way through oval turn 1, road course turn 14, and blast past you coming down the front straightaway. We are out of qualifying time. Everybody has taken time, and that means that we are ready for a grid, Luca.
All right. So, do you want to go run through the qualifiers here? You want to go through the grid?
Why don't you go ahead?
My job.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us? Why don't you go ahead and tell us who's starting where, Luca?
All right, starting on pole position, it's the number 12 of Aiden Matthijs. He finished with a pole time of 1:14.194. Kwame Scott starts in second position. Simon Sykes in third. Alex Nogi in fourth. Jacob Oster in fifth. Michael Welker, he comes into this one in sixth position. Seventh position is Esteban Rodriguez. Cameron Wilson will start in 8th. Belint Pala will start in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Blaze Andrich. George Griffiths will start in 11th. Nolan Allaire will start in 12th. Alexander Russell starting in 13th. David Menino, is that correct?
Menona, I believe.
Menona will start in 14th. Alexander Van de Zandt will start in 15th. Rashad Craig will start in 16th. Jeff Drake, 17th. Brian Carey, 18. Nadi Emil in 19th, and the top 20 is concluded by Jake Vasconcelos. Logan Edwards will be 20th. Vasconcelos will be 21st. Edwin Onofre will be in 22nd. Anna Klemick from Down Under will be starting in 23rd. 24th, it's Matt Busa, which is the top driver in the iRating side of things, but he will start all the way back in 24th. Frank Wynn will start in 25th. Will Weiser, 26th. 27th is Justin Beria, 28th, Benjamin Fiore, and rounding out the field will be Robert Ridgway as we pull off behind the pace car for the warm-up lap.
Indeed, we do. That is your starting lineup. Thank you so much for bringing that to us, Luca. It's such an awesome sight. I've watched races here, both from the B Penthouse on the road course, and from H stand, which is just right across from turn one that these drivers are going through. And interestingly enough, there is an escape road that you can go down, made famous by Ross Chastain here, that you can go down. You see, I believe that was Blaze Andrich went down the escape road already. But you can go down that escape road, and there is a way to rejoin the course. The rejoin is that road off to your right. That is the rejoin point. And you're going to see, Luca, I think at least one driver go down the escape road in turn one and rejoin at turn three on the start to avoid an accident. You do have to stop and pay a penalty, though, if you do that. Another action point is going to be at this chicane. That's turns 5 and 6. And the reason I say action point isn't because it's a difficult corner, but those curbs are huge. And if you hit those in the wrong spot, Luca, you're going to turn your IL-15 into a surfboard.
This thing can snap on you and snap on you in a hurry, just like its big brother in the IR-18. The IR-18, not the IL-15. But we were talking earlier as I have a dog. I'm assuming you also have a dog as well. I'm not 100% sure, but the way that you talked about it earlier, if the IR-18 is a German Shepherd, this thing is a golden doodle. It can kill you. It's not trying to, and generally won't if you're careful around it, but it can be a little sketchy sometimes.
You know, it most certainly can, Luca, and that's the thing. You kind of talk about with reference to the Indy NXT car, the IL-15. The Indy car very much is a racing machine that you're very much good until you're not. This car is very similar. You're good until you're not. Everything just happens at about 80% of the speed. It's almost the perfect teaching tool for what it's going to be like when you get to the bigger Indy car. Do want to welcome Ryan O'Donoghue into the chat. Ryan O'Donoghue, by the way, one of the better stock car drivers that you'll see here on P1. He also ran very, very well in the Horizon IndyCar Series race the other night. And so Ryan O'Donoghue, the jack of all trades, he's watching us. Luke Mansky Racing Esports is with us. Journey Qual is ready to see Frankie Wynn rolling off at 25th. Barney's got the green flag in the air. Away we go. We are ready for 26 laps here at Indianapolis.
Already working down the inside. A great move by Simon Sykes. He will take the lead going into turn number 2. A great move down to the bottom, but right on his tail is Aiden Matthijs.
Yeah, Aiden Matthijs slides into second place. He's joined by Alex Nogue in third, Kwame Scott fourth, and Jacob Oster, one of last year's qualifiers for the IndyCar Pro Series. Out of the community, Jacob Oster is in fifth, and he needs a good run. Tonight here, Luca. Jacob Oster sitting 30th in the points right now. You got to be in that top 33, and Jacob Oster looking to be there as they stream through turns 8, 9, and 10 here at Indianapolis, already to turn 11, and then that big right-hander, Luca, down into turn 12. The motorcycle chicane is coming.
One of the hardest braking zones on the track. Looking was Alex No. He tried to get down the inside, but thought better of it. They will head back onto the front straightaway. First lap led by Simon Sykes, with Matthijs in second, Newgarden third.
Indeed, the battle is on for fifth. Kwame Scott is looking down the inside of Jacob Oster, both on push to pass. Kwame Scott, is he going to try to outbrake the I-5G machine? He is not quite going to get there, and he'd be on the wrong side of the road anyway. If he does, Jacob Oster is going to hold on to that fifth spot. And Kwame Scott, it wasn't Kwame Scott making that move, rather. It was the former Formula Indy Series champion, Mitch Welker, looking to make that dive on Jacob Oster. Esteban Rodriguez is the interested party in there. Let's hop on board with Esteban Rodriguez and see what we can see out of that number 3 machine. He'd like to round up both of these guys.
Rodriguez looking toward... He's able to get around there well. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move cameras around all at once. You are much better at me than that at this point. But he got the move done. He is going to take over, heading down towards the motorcycle chicane. He sits in 6th position, 1.7 seconds off the lead. Looking behind him is Welker. He'll try maybe to make the move going to the next corner. He won't have the time.
No, Mitch Welker made the big lunge down the inside turn 7 at the end of the Holman Straight. Slid right on past Jacob Oster. Oster said thank you very much, pulled the crossover, and that drug Esteban Rodriguez through into the 6th spot. Jacob Oster holds on to 5th. There is a bigger battle here deeper in the field. Alex Van de Zandt has moved past David Monona and Alex Russell, and he is looking to round up George Griffiths as we head into turn number 1. Van de Zandt in the power slide machine. He's on the move, Luca. Van de Zandt started this race 15th. He's up 3 spots into 12th. And as hard as this place is to pass, that's a pretty big mover, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a really narrow course, just like the oval. And there are not all that many good hard braking zones. There's a couple, obviously, at the end of the Holman Straight.
Whoa, we got a car off. That's a Bullet Palila. Yeah, that's Bullet Pala right in front of Alex Van de Zandt. Van de Zandt is going to go through, move Alex Van de Zandt into the top 10, and that's another driver that is looking to have a good night. He is 14th in the points currently. Now, remember, we are in the second split. This is not the top split. We are in the second split. The neat thing about that, though, is that you are going to see probably at least a third of the qualifiers for the Pro Series come out of this series. Jacob Oster, one of those qualifiers last season. Jacob Oster.
Definitely going to see. You go ahead.
I was going to say, Oster, we've got a pass for the lead. Simon Sykes goes down the inside of Aiden Matthijs. Matthijs going to try to pull the crossover. Close. They touch wheels. Matthijs goes through.
An incredible move. What a great job. Just unbelievable car control from these guys. Fighting through these different spots and making contact in an open wheel car. Never the best idea, but they made it work.
You know, they most certainly did, and all that did was it allowed Alex Nogue, Jacob Oster, and Kwame Scott to close right back up, and they are still banging wheels. Aiden Matthijs holds off Simon Sykes one more time, and he's got Alex Nogue right behind him. We're going to hop on board the number 4 machine just because that's the best seat in the house right now, Luca.
Absolutely. And he's actually going to try and make a move down the inside. A great piece of defending there from Sykes. Matthijs going to keep the lead, but Sykes has Matthijs' teammate Oster right on his tail, and he's going to fall all the way back to 6th.
Yeah, so that's you know what? That's one of the
make that 5th.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things that you're going to see. And Simon Sykes is in deep trouble. He lost positions to Jacob Oster, Kwame Scott, and now he's under fire from Esteban Rodriguez. He lost all of his momentum with that block, and now he makes the wild lunge down the inside of Kwame Scott. He'll go through. Esteban Rodriguez is going to try to follow, and Mitch Welker is saying, just keep banging wheels, boys. He wants a piece of that too.
Absolutely. This is just some incredible racing. I mean, there's a reason that these guys are fighting for that top 33 spot. This is a huge possibility, as we talked in our pre-race meeting, for the community to really come out and show off their skills in a car that is so new, as you said. Nobody knows how to set it up yet. This thing is just an absolute unknown quantity right now. We're all trying to figure out how this car works, and if the community can come up big here, how awesome would that be to see some of these guys who we know in the Pro Series?
You know, it most certainly is. Guys like Jacob Oster, and there's Jacob. He is third. That's the among other big races that he's won as he goes through the grass, big wiggle getting on the front straightaway. Jacob Oster was the winner of the inaugural P1 600. Took home one of the largest purses for a private IndyCar race, and he's got another $100 on the line if he can pull off a win in the Hoosier 500 here in the next month or so. Jacob Oster could walk away $1,000 richer, including the bonuses that are up for him winning both of those crown jewel races. So Jacob Oster, that's a rapid man. You're looking at Mitch Welker. Welker is 6. You mentioned the community. Mitch Welker, that's a guy that's very good in the Formula Indy series. So they run Indy cars, but with Formula One rules, standing starts, all on road courses. Welker, very much a known quantity in that series. Alex Van de Zandt, from the powerful Power Slide stable, he currently runs in 11th, and he is very highly placed in points. Van de Zandt 13th right now in the table, so he's looking good. We've talked about Alexander Russell. There's Russell. That's a driver that's very well known within the community. The private label Team Hype Power Slide entry for Alexander Russell. And then, further back, you've got Rashad Craig. There's Rashad. No paint job on the IL-15. But that is a familiar driver for most of us from the Indy Open Series. He's the reigning Indy Open Series champion from Indy Alliance Racing. Brian Carey from Power Slide right behind him, and Carey is going to make the lunge down the inside of Rashad Craig. Turn 1. Now you got to make that move stick, Luca, because if you don't, you're on the wrong side of the track coming to turn 2.
Absolutely, it's a quick switch back, left then right then left. Got to really make a decision early on where you want to be, and if you cannot get around him early, that's going to be a problem. But something I do want to bring to your attention here, Mark, is that Blaze Andrich, the number 14 position in the points, is out of this race. He did not take the start. I don't exactly know why. I'm assuming some kind of technical trouble, but he appears to be out of this race, and that could be massive in the point standings. It
could, because Blaze Andrich was 14th in the points. Jacob Collins has dropped in. He is the community leader for the INDY NXT Series and all of the lower formulae for open wheelers in iRacing. And he said, we're taking the top 21. They retained the top 12 from last year's qualifiers. So 21st is the cutoff. Right now, Alex Van de Zandt is well within that. So is Blaze Andrich. So is Blaze Andrich. Drivers that we're looking at from this second split. Kwame Scott, well within inside that top 20, top 21, as is Mitch Welker. So is George Griffiths. And so there are plenty of guys in this race that are already inside that top 21. You got Logan Edwards, Esteban Rodriguez, Jacob Oster, Rashad Craig, Jeff Drake, Frank Wynn. Those are all drivers that are right now on the outside looking in, and they love a good finish. And right now, Jacob Oster, he qualified last year. He's doing a fine job in that Team I5G machine right now in a podium third.
Absolutely, about 1.9 seconds off, 0.8 seconds behind second place Alex Nogue. But a great battle taking place back in the field, back around, I would almost want to say 10th through 12th, but it could be even further up the road. Great battle going on here between Griffiths, Alexander Van de Zandt, and Pala, as Pala hits the wall coming off oval turn 1.
Yes, he did, and that's going to get Alex Van de Zandt a little bit of breathing room. Van de Zandt has time to watch George Griffiths make a dive, and there's trouble. Alex Van de Zandt involved in an accident in turn number 1. He has got Alex Van de Zandt all kinds of issues. He finally almost net codes through and gets going again. But let's see what's happened with Alex Van de Zandt and the 22 of Nolan Aller. So here we go. Van de Zandt is looking to the inside of George Griffiths. Or no, he's following Griffiths. There he goes to the inside. And the 22 of Nolan Aller and the 8 of George Griffiths don't come together. The 22 gets passed by Griffiths and then tries to slam the door on Van de Zandt. Tough break for Alex.
Do you think he tried to slam the door, or do you think it was more of a getting on the gas too early? Oh, yeah, no, a little aggressive on the turn in, maybe a little bit too much gas at points, but not a fantastic attempt there. But all the way back to 27th at this point is Aller, and he will be forced to come down pit road.
Yeah, we saw the wings flying for Aller. Van de Zandt somehow managed to escape with neither a meatball or major damage. I do want to point out that Cameron Wilson has gotten past Mitch Welker, and now Welker has fallen into the clutches of Esteban Rodriguez. This is a battle 6th, 7th, and 8th at the moment. Simon Sykes has begun to close back in on Jacob Oster. The front 10 are very close, and then you've got Balint Padilla going to the inside of George Griffiths for 10th. You just saw that pass. These two cars are about 2.5 seconds behind Esteban Rodriguez. So the front 8 are within 5 seconds, and they're varying degrees apart. They're all in contact. Then you've got a gap back to 10th and 11th. And you've got about a 6-car train. That extends back to Jeff Drake, and there's Jeff. You don't see Jeff very often anymore, but the power slide entry on track tonight, he is 14th. And then there's another couple of seconds back to Brian Carey. So 3 distinct groups have formed. Brian Carey all the way to Justin Barrera are more or less together on the speedway. Nolan Aller has come to pit lane to pit that car. Robert Ridgway, and there's Robert. We'll give him his due. He is 26th and 2.5 seconds behind the nearest group in front of him. Best battle on the track is still Griffiths and Padilla. These two guys are going after it, gloves off, as are Welker and Esteban Rodriguez. They're going to go side by side down the Holman Straight, Luca.
That is trying to find that battle on the cameras. I'm sorry. Please take us through that.
No, absolutely so. Esteban Rodriguez gets the pass done on Mitch Welker. They've been trading those spots. They've also been burning up the push to pass. You see it on the tree. The push to pass will light up whenever the drivers are on it. Already, we are seeing significant usage out of the drivers in this battle. Right now, Aiden Mateys, who is the leader, 142 seconds remaining. Alex Nogue, 123 seconds. Jacob Oster, 104 seconds. Now down to 101. Those drivers are using it rather sparingly. These guys right here, Rodriguez, 89, Welker, 83, Padilla, 85, they are not sparing the rod. They are all over that button in a fight for position early on, and we are 12 laps of 26 complete. And you don't, it's darned if you do and darned if you don't, Luca. You want to use that button to get by people, but my goodness, you don't want to use it all up before the end of the race.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't, well, not unfortunately, it's just a fact of life. This is not like a PERS system or the Formula One style, their hybrid deploy, or even the current Indy cars, not at least on the service just yet, their hybrid deploy. You don't get it back. You get 150 seconds of use. You get 50 bonus horsepower for however long you want to use it. I think up to 20 seconds per push. But once it's gone, it's gone. You have one shot to make it work, and if you can't, you are going to be in serious trouble if you're running out of push to pass late in the race.
Yes, sir. And you get 150 seconds to start with. If you're Mitch Welker, you're on 83 down to 80 now, 82 now. You've used up half of it, and we're just at halfway. Following the battle here, 4-4, Simon Sykes has it. He has been steadily reeling in Jacob Oster in third, and so Sykes looking to get back on that podium. Kwame Scott has fallen away from this battle. Kwame Scott, if you look off the gearbox of Simon Sykes, he's about a second and a half adrift, and he's falling back into the clutches of Cameron Wilson and Esteban Rodriguez as they run. But this is about to turn into a pretty good fight, I think, here for the third spot. Aiden Mateys leads it. Luca, Alex Nogue is second, and they've established 1-2 pretty handily here.
Absolutely. It's going to be, really, it does appear to start being that team's race to lose up front with Matez and Nogue. They are just kind of riding off into the sunset. There definitely is a bit of a gap closing here from Oster, but he's going to have Simon Sykes in his rear view, and he is catching up rapidly. I would say that that's probably going to be the most exciting battle in the field, at least in this front group, in just a lap or so here as they come down the front straightaway. Will Sykes try a dive bomb? Nope, not just yet. Still going to play it safe and lose a little bit of time coming through turn 1, but still a long way to go as we pass halfway.
We are past halfway, and that means we're going to turn the counter the other way. Instead of counting up toward 26, we're going to start counting backwards, working lap 24 of 26. Aiden Matez leads it. We haven't shown him very much, but it appears to me that those two cars in the front of this thing are teammates. They are
Sykes down the inside. He makes the move.
See, just as I cut away from it, there goes Simon Sykes on Jacob Oster. He makes the pass. Now, we're going to stick with this because I would bet you a shiny new dime Jacob Oster is going to get in the slipstream, and he's going to make that same move going back into turn number 1. I did want to point out that Nogue and Matthijs are both in identical liveries for Fiercely Ford Racing by P1 Docs, and so those drivers are definitely working together.
Exactly, and Nogue wanting to play rear gunner just in case, but Oster, he's going to have a huge run. He is on the button, I would assume, as they come screaming down the front straightaway. Will Oster make the move? No, he won't, but I would guess as his opponent right in front of him did last lap, going down the Holman Straight, we are going to see another attempt.
We are indeed. The reason you saw that pop up is I'm searching in the standings for Matisse. He is not listed, and I have not been able to find Alexander Nogue either within at least the top 40. So just to kind of keep everybody apprised on that. Simon Sykes, as far as points goes, Sykes is not in the top 40 either, but we talked about it, well documented. Jacob Oster, right now he's 30th. He needs to get inside that top 21, and if he can run on the podium or even inside the top 5 today, he is going to take a giant step toward that. I do want to thank everybody for joining in. You are watching P1 Broadcasting's coverage of the iRacing Thrustmaster Indy NXT qualifier. This is the second split where most of the familiar names in the community are running. We're going to flip back and watch Esteban Rodriguez as he chases down Cameron Wilson and Kwame Scott. They've got Mitch Welker back there in 8th.
That's about to become a really interesting battle. That group of 4, as you said, it's Scott, Wilson, Rodriguez, and Welker. That is going to be an absolute war as we run the laps down. Just 11 laps remaining here at Indianapolis. The top 10 is Matthijs, Nogue, Sykes, Oster, Scott, Wilson, Rodriguez, Welker, Pala, and Griffiths. Or is that Padilla and it's just shortened? Or am I missing something?
No, I don't think you're missing anything at all. Jacob Oster, by the way, has fallen back a little bit from Simon Sykes, and I think that may be an effort to kind of conserve the push to pass, maybe conserve the tires and make one more run at it. I don't know that you want to be, it's almost like I don't know that you want to be the lead car without the draft coming down the Holman Straight on the last lap, because you know the guy behind you is going to have a big run, a big draft, and he's going to have a place with a 90-degree left-hander to make a lunge. But I do want to thank everybody who's watching the stream tonight. If you haven't done it already, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can be notified of all the future iRacing broadcasts that we provide. Just like this one, you've got the Indy Open Series on Monday. You've got the Indy Fixed Oval Series on Tuesday nights. The Indy NXT broadcasts, the top splits immediately follow those. You've got great leagues like the Onyx Racing League Lotus 79s on Monday night. You've got the Horizon IndyCar League on Wednesdays. The Votive Indy Racing League, the Votive Indy Oval League, and the Dark Horse DW12 Series run on Sundays. You've got the Formula Indy Series on Wednesday nights. A whole host of action. So make sure you ring the bell so that you can watch all of it with us. And believe me, sometimes Gary Godso and Jacob Collins call these things. They are a lot more competent than I am, Luca, because I like to drive them too, man.
Oh no, just the whole host of things that are on P1. I mean, you can just get every type of racing you want on this from this organization. I mean, and I appreciate you guys for having me on. I am a former ice hockey broadcaster, a college hockey broadcaster who has been itching to get back on air, and I've always wanted to call racing. It's a big slide there from Matthias coming out of turn 1. But
yeah, he lost he lost a ton of momentum. He had built that lead up to 1.5 seconds, and that's going to chop it under a second. It's going to let Alex Nogue climb back into the frame. And what's more critical is that also is going to drag Simon Sykes and Jacob Oster along, because now they're all in a draft together. The draft envelope in these cars, Luca, roughly a second and a half, maybe a little more, a little less. Aiden Matthias had nearly broken the draft, and that slide, well, it's going to let Nogue, Sykes, and Oster right back into it. Yeah.
He clearly has some kind of issue with those rear tires, or he's just putting the power down too quickly. Something seems to be amiss, but I really want to focus on that battle coming up here between Nogue and Sykes as they go screaming down the front stretch. Sykes gets within less than a car length into turn number 1, and he will maintain that gap going through turn 3 and probably all the way down the straightaway. So we should see something pretty spectacular coming off the end of the Holman Straight.
Yeah, we're going to see some fireworks. Here they go down the Holman Straight. It's Sykes looking at Nogue. We were on board with Simon Sykes. He's not going to quite get there, but he's pushing Alex Nogue toward Aiden Matthias, and I believe you're right. I think Matthias has used up a lot of the good on those Coopers, and on those Firestone tires, rather, and I think that you could be looking at a situation where he might have run himself out of grip. And Simon Sykes is there. He's going down the inside. Simon Sykes is going to split up the Fiercely Ford duo at turn 3.
It's not done yet.
Here comes Alex Nogue. Now, I'd be willing to bet you there's going to be a big dive when they get down here into turn number 1. What do you think, Luca?
I would put that. I'd put a whole lot of money on that one. As now they're trying to do the dragon. Oh, a nice little juke there from Simon Sykes. Will Nogue go around the outside? No, he won't. But he will have a great opportunity coming down the Holman Straight. I'm not seeing this on any of my screens. What is the push to pass situation? As they head down, almost touch going into turn 3.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. We're going to get it up on the board so everybody can see it. 109 seconds for Aiden Matthias. Simon Sykes down to 55 seconds and counting. Alex Nogue has 88. Jacob Oster 84. Kwame Scott 51. And Oster is right kind of where you want to be. He's on an island now. He's dropped about a second and a half behind Alex Nogue, and he's got about 2 seconds in hand over Kwame Scott. So as I like to say, Jacob Oster here firmly ensconced in that 4th spot. Just to kind of look back a little bit further, Esteban Rodriguez and Cameron Wilson, Mitch Welker have not stopped their battle. This is a great 3-way fight for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Absolutely. We'll get back there, at least on my screen, right about now.
Here comes Welker. He's going to go to the inside.
Go down the inside.
Yeah, he built that run off of turn number 14 down the front straightaway. He didn't even have to use a slipstream. He is firmly alongside before he gets to the braking zone, and that should be job done for Mitch Welker. And there he goes down the end, or for Rodriguez, rather.
Esteban Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's Rodriguez.
Great move by him.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
He just had the speed to get alongside him, used as you said, didn't even need to use the draft, as there appears to be some kind of trouble going through the chicane. Let's see who that is back
Brian
in 20th
Carey.
position.
Yeah, it's Brian Carey. He is off. And let's figure out what's happened here. That doesn't start with Brian Carey. That started with Anna Klimek. Carey goes around.
He just seemed to spin himself out, or is there something else behind him that I'm not seeing? Is maybe Anna wasn't on screen there? That's weird.
I think what happened is there were several different incidents. Anna Klimek went through the grass. She just kind of has an issue. There's another issue though in front of them. Brian Carey spins. Anna takes to the grass, and who is the slower car? I don't think we're quite done here. To the chicane we go, and I think that might have been the end of it. So dueling spins, no contact, and we race on. There's Anna Klimek along in 17th. She follows Logan Edwards and Luke Mansky Racing Esports Machine in 16th. I don't see any other cars with damage, Lucas, so I think that may be the end of it. Meanwhile, David Monona and Edwin Onofor, they're going after it 13th and 14th. Edwin is going to take it over Monona, so move Edwin Onofor up to 13th. David Monona back to 14th. The battle, though, I think, is going to be on for the lead here pretty shortly. Simon Sykes has closed down 0.3 of a second on Aiden Matthijs in the last lap. Well, 2 laps ago he was 0.3 quicker. The last time through he was 0.2. He's closed down half a second in the last 2 laps. Simon Sykes is coming, and I think Aiden Matthijs and those rear tires may be toast.
Just to show you the lap times, I mean, last lap for Matthijs was a 1:15.759. For Sykes, it was a 1:15.533. So a little bit more than 0.2 of a second in that last lap. As you said, as Matthijs goes all the way to the apex, obviously that's right where you want to be, but you do not want to touch the grass too much, as that will give you an off-track penalty and will just spin you out for good measure. But things could be heating up at the pointy end of this field as we move with just 3 laps to go here at the greatest race course in the world.
Here we are at Simon Sykes, and he is trying mightily to chase down Aiden Matthijs. Alex Nogue in the second Fiercely Ford machine is an interested observer.
Matthijs hit the wall. I thought Matthijs may have just barely brushed the wall coming off of oval turn 1.
It could be just some net code. Sometimes that happens here, especially when you get drivers from outside the United States that are a little bit further away from the server. Sometimes you see that net code. It can drive you nuts when you're on an oval, because you don't know if the guy in front of you actually is hitting the wall or if it's net code. Be that as it may, Simon Sykes was a little bit slower. He dropped a 10th that lap, but Sykes used up a ton of push to pass to get there. 56 seconds on board for Matthijs, 25 seconds for Sykes, and so he's going to have to be very judicious here. Simon Sykes may only get 1 lunge, and it's probably going to come he's probably going to try to set it up so it's the Holman straight on the last lap. What do you think, Luca?
I wouldn't hate that, but again, as you said, the advantage is just, a big power slide there from Matthijs. That's going to be massive coming down the front straightaway. That was scary for Matthijs. He was 45 degrees to the racetrack.
There he goes. You saw it from the P1 airship. They're coming down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go. He didn't lose as much as I thought he might. Just a couple of tenths right there. But Sykes is there. The problem for Sykes, though, is he has to defend. He's got 17 seconds of push to pass. So he's got a lot less than Alex Nogue and Aiden Matthijs. And you know those 2 Fiercely Ford machines are working together here as we come down to settle it. here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the IndyCar course, headed down the Holman Straight toward turn number 7. And there's the story. It's Simon Sykes. He's trying to get to the lead, but he has got all sorts of problems from Alex Nogue.
Alex Nogue absolutely has been in the perfect spot to fight this off. He is now basically, as I said probably 10 laps ago now, he is playing rear gunner now for Aiden Matthijs. He is just trying to stay and be as annoying as possible for Simon Sykes. I'm a Bruins fan. I'm from Boston. He is trying to play the Brad Marchand role to Aiden Matthijs' Patrice Bergeron. Just be that little ball of hate and force the other guys into a mistake.
Now, see, you're way too young to get this reference. I thought he was maybe trying to play a little bit of a Bill Laimbeer, Detroit Pistons kind of action. Now, that guy was annoying. Meanwhile, Sykes holds him off. We are on the final lap here. Sykes to the inside.
No,
they touch.
He turned him. Oh, no, and he's beached.
Yeah,
Simon Sykes is beached. He is done.
Simon Sykes is beached. We're going to go back and get the replay. Sykes turned it in on Alex Nogue. Left front to right rear and to the beach Simon Sykes goes. That's going to promote, he is still on the beach. That's going to promote Jacob Oster to third. And Oster might have a shot to finish second here. You don't know if Alex Nogue has any damage. Aiden Matthijs, he's loving this. He's got his 1 second lead back, Luca, as we head down through the final set of corners, already through turn 12. Nogue is going to go through, and I almost think that was planned.
Oh my goodness, that is not going to make you many friends in any racing series. That is a absolute... I don't really even know what to say after that. That was...
You know,
I mean, planned might be the operative word, but that if that is planned, do you have some a case for possibly a protest? I mean, because that could get very interesting.
You know, it's possible. Let's get on board Aiden Matthijs here and just see. You know, maybe he spun up the tires. We don't know. It certainly looked as though almost as though he pulled over and let him go. Here we go. So maybe a little bit of team orders here. Alex Nogue is going to take the win. Aiden Matthijs is...
I thought we were talking about the spin earlier. That was my mistake for saying planned. I did not get that. I apologize to those listening. I completely missed that.
No, it's okay. We just did show the replay of the final pass of the lead. Alex Nogue, Aiden Matthijs run 1-2. Jacob Oster is going to be third, and your results from Indianapolis are these. Alex Nogue is going to be declared your winner. In second, Aiden Matthijs. Jacob Oster is going to run third. Kwame Scott, fourth. Esteban Rodriguez rounds out the top 5. In sixth, Cameron Wilson. Mitch Walker is seventh. Alexander Russell, eighth. George Griffiths, ninth. And Balint Pella will round out your top 10.
Moving on to the next group, it'll be Edwin Onafor in 11th, Naughty Emil in 12th, Dave Menino in 13th, Matt Busa in 14th, 15th is Logan Edwards, 16th is Anna Klemick, 17th is Jeff Drake, 18th is Alex Vanderzant, 19th is Ben Fiore, and in 20th it is Justin Barrera.
We'll round out the field with Robert Ridgway, Brian Carey, Jake Vascalones, Rashad Craig, and Frisky Frankie Wynn, 21st through 25th. Simon Sykes doesn't get off the beach. He spent all race on the podium and is going to be credited with 26th. Nolan Aller, 27th. Will Weiser.
That's just so sad.
It is. Will Weiser, 28th, and Blaze Andrich doesn't get to take the start due to an equipment issue. And that will round out your field here at Indianapolis. Let's see who we've got. Jacob Oster is in the interview room. We'll go ahead and pull Jacob on up. Jacob, you've got Murph, and you've got the new guy, Luca Tedesco, in with us. He's a hockey announcer, so we'll try to keep him from talking about sticks, pucks, and good left hooks from right wingers. Talk to us about your day, man. Great run. You needed this one, didn't you?
Oh, I did, and some sticks probably should be used considering what happened there in the last lap. I think, because this is a pro series, I'm going to probably protest that because that was kind of blatant because they're teammates. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wish that was a win, but P3 is pretty good considering what happened last week whenever someone had their wheel die and decided to not pull on the grass and stop in the middle of the track. But, we lock back in, we improve, and we keep going.
Yeah, I mean that's what you have to do. That's the way you have to do it. And Jacob, we've seen you run at the front in a lot of big time races. We've seen you win a lot of really big races. Kind of, how does this compare to an event like the Hoosier or Open Wheels 500 or the P1 600 or some of those big single races? What's this like in terms of nerves for somebody like you, given your experience level?
Really, the nerves, they're somewhat comparable because at least in Hoosier 500, Top Split Broadcast 500, I know the people I'm racing with and I have a really, really good feel of the car. But racing in the pro qualifiers, they do a lot of dumb stuff. They did a lot of dumb stuff last year, and I'm not the biggest fan of the next car. Just the way the physics respond with the tire and all the setup changes that don't make any change. And then I'm also not a fan of Indy GP, so today I was a little nervous considering where I was in points and what happened last week whenever I botched qualifying and got wrecked because I thought I could win last week. But you just got to prepare for it and know what you're going to do, know how you're going to drive, know how the car's going to react, and whatever happens. You just got to be prepared for any situation.
Absolutely. Luca, what do you have for Mr. Oster this evening?
Hi, Jacob, Luca here. So just a big something we talked about, me and Murph, in our pre-race meeting was about the difficulties of setting up this race car. Basically, it's an unknown quantity, not just for you, but for everyone, pro and hoping to be pro. So how big a deal is it for the community, obviously being in a pretty good position to get into these top 33 spots, but how difficult has it been on the setup side of things working with this new IL-15?
It's been a little bit of a challenge, but having the IndyCar bases that I have and that some of the other people in the community have, so we can work together a little bit to make this car as optimal as possible, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. We kind of know how iRacing wants to respond on terms of a really fast level to get the most out of the car. So you kind of narrow in pretty quickly on what's going to be the main chassis philosophy and the main, differential philosophy and all that. It just comes down to a lot of driving, and I've had to really refine my driving over stint with this car. So I'm happy for that. I don't like to set up this car because it doesn't respond to changes that well. And it does some really weird things, but it's been nice to get stuck back into a vehicle again because it's been about a year since I've done that.
Well, I'll tell you what, as always, man, you're lightning quick. It's good to see you on the podium. It's good to have you on the broadcast. And I don't, the stuff at the front being the stuff at the front, it's always good to see somebody that runs it honest and does it right. And so thank you for that too. Thank you so much to your team for all they do for the community in general. Friends, family, sponsors, shout-outs. The floor is yours, Jacob. You got the mic. Say whatever you like.
Thanks to Alexis Newsom for being on my box tonight, just kind of keeping me updated on everybody's pace, everyone's button uses. Also like to thank some of the Power Slide people who have helped me a little bit understand this car. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes. We got 2 more ovals to close out. Feel real confident about getting at least a top 5, if not a win in those. So we will see how these next 3 weeks go. I feel like I can make it back and then do a lot better in pro than I did last year.
Absolutely. Well, once again, Jacob, thank you so much for stopping by. You're welcome here anytime. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys. Nice to meet you, Luca. Good job in broadcast.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, man.
That is Jacob Oster. He is going to be your third place finisher. We do not have the Fiercely Ford duo of Aiden Matthijs and Alex Nogue in the Discord, so we will give them their due. There is Matthijs and eventual race winner Alex Nogue. An interesting end to what was a really hard-fought race. Luca, your initial run here was a baptism by fire, it seemed, but you got to see a good one. But you got to see a good one.
It was certainly a very good race for 25 and 9/10 laps. And then what happened. And I'm not thrilled with how that concluded, but I mean, it is, team orders are team orders, and there are sometimes you have to do race it a certain way, but I mean, in the hearts and minds of the people, I would say that Matthijs is the winner of this race, but the points will say otherwise, the results will say otherwise, but overall I thought it was a really fun time. A lot of drivers making some really impressive moves, especially into the two big braking areas on the racetrack, down into turn 1 and of course at the end of the Holman Straight. But that last lap is going to be something that is going to be scrutinized at both ends of it. At the start of the lap, where you had the spin at the wreck into turn number 2, or excuse me, turn 4, and then at the end slowing down and letting the second place finisher, the second place driver by to win. But certainly a very interesting and controversial race, at least at the end.
You know, it will be, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of scrutiny on both the incident at the beginning of the last lap and the move that we saw for the win at the end. You know,
I want to hear your takes on those if you're willing to give them, because I want to know if I'm alone here.
It's hard.
I don't think I am.
It's hard to watch. Being part of a bigger team within the community, there have been times where you give up for your teammate, but I think that's one of the few times that I can recall it being quite as obvious. Right? Usually you'll hear a multi-21 call, or you'll blatantly say, look, you're leading in the points, I'm not going to pass you. But that's really one of the first times that I think I've ever seen somebody just pull over and let their teammate go. And so we'll kind of have to see we'll have to see if there's anything that comes out of that. I tend to stay away from the controversy just because, I tend to stay away from the controversy just in general, but hey, we all saw what we saw, and we saw a great race. Matthijs, Sykes, Nogue, and Oster waged a terrific battle for the front of this thing. Jacob Oster gets a great finish to bolster his situation in the points. So does Kwame Scott. So does Mitch Welker. And unfortunately, guys like Alex Van de Zandt, Rashad Craig, and Blaze Anderts didn't have good nights. The good news, if there is any for some of the community drivers that we discussed, is that of the remaining races, there are 3 of those. This is round 4, so we've got 5, 6, and 7 left. 2 of them are on ovals, and those typically do favor the community. At P1, we always want to thank the drivers for their showmanship.
Yeah, they ran a great race, and one thing that I do want to bring up, Indianapolis, the USGP, Rubens Barrichello by 0.011 seconds.
Now here's the thing. I mean, I was at that race, and I remember how that went down. Right, I was in the stands that day for that experience, and so I remember that very well. But we do want to thank the drivers here at P1 because they put on a heck of a show. We also want to thank our fans because they are the reason that we do this. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1, be notified of all future iRacing broadcasts right here on the P1 Broadcasting channel. But we also want to thank the people that really make it possible: the military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs that drive the ambulance, and the nurse that unloads you when you get there. Luca, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank him. For everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you at the next one.